everyone. My name is Garrett.
And I am Maria.
And this is Let's Talk in English, the show where we talk about some great words, phrases, and even sentences in English that you can use in your conversations. Today, we're learning some English you need.
Yes, and the English you need when talking about your hometown. The title of the lesson is Tell Me About Your Hometown.
Right, tell me about your hometown. Let's review for a moment. What is a hometown?
A hometown is where you grew up. So you will have family, friends, and neighbors often in your hometown.
Yeah, where you grew up is where you lived when you were young. It's a place that's special to you, and you might go back every once in a while, maybe even once a year.
That's right. So there are people you care about in your hometown. Well, we also talked about sports teams that some people really love from their hometown, or places such as museums.
And even great food from that place. Maybe things that you miss a lot if you've moved somewhere else. Well, friends, we have more to talk about with this topic today, and we're going to try and find our Find It answer.
The question is, where did Betty grow up?
Where did Betty grow up? Friends, try and find the answer in our lesson. And now let's go to Jack for our key words.
Betty 问 Milo 说：“你是在哪里长大的 ？”Where did you grow up？ 片语动词 grow up 就是长大。Milo 说他是在迈阿密长大的。Betty 说：“所以你是在佛罗里达的海边长大的吗？” So you grew up near the ocean in Florida？ 名词 ocean 就是海洋。其实他是在沙漠中的一个小城镇长大的。It's a small town in the desert。名词 desert 就是沙漠。Betty 是在郊区长大的，她很喜欢住在郊区，因为她回到家就可以离开拥挤的城市。But I could leave the crowded city behind and go home。形容词 crowded 就是拥挤的。Milo 说，不过住在城市非常方便。But it is so convenient to live in a city。形容词 convenient 就是方便的或是便利的。
Thanks for bringing over these cookies, Betty.
You're welcome. Save some for Ken.
Sure. I'll save some. Well, maybe just one.
So, Milo, tell me more about yourself. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Miami.
So you grew up near the ocean in Florida.
No, Miami, Arizona. It's a small town in the desert.
Oh, what did you do for fun growing up?
I played outdoors a lot. Miami was a nice place to grow up.
Ooh, we have Milo back here, and this time Betty is bringing him some cookies.
Yes, so if you remember, Betty and Milo are neighbors, and Betty loves to share sweet treats with people. Milo says, "Thanks for bringing over these cookies, Betty."
Yeah, Betty is happy to bring those cookies, but she doesn't want Milo to eat all of them. She makes sure to say, "Save some for Ken."
And of course, Ken is Milo's roommate. They live together. Milo says, "I'll save some." Well, maybe just one.
Well, at least Ken will have something to eat. Betty continues and says, "Milo, tell me more about yourself."
Friends, that is also a really good phrase to learn. Tell me more about yourself.
Tell me more about yourself. When you do that, you share more things about who you are, the things that you like, or maybe even where you're from. Let's learn more about this phrase with Jack.
Betty 想要多认识一下 Milo， 就对他说：“跟我多说一些你的事吧。” So Milo, tell me more about yourself. 所以这句话用来表达自己想要更多的认识某个人。其他类似的说法还有 I'd love to know more about you. 我很想多了解你，或是 So, what's your story? 那么你的故事是什么？聊聊你自己吧。还有Can you share more about yourself? 你可以多分享一些自己的事吗？
Thank you, Jack. All right, so what does Betty want to know more about Milo?
She wants to know where he grew up. Betty asks, where did you grow up? Grow up means maybe you were a baby or a kid and you got older and older and older. That is growing up.
Yeah, where you grew up is the place where you lived when all of that was happening. Well, Milo shares that he grew up in Miami. Maria, do you know where that is?
Well, I know there is a Miami in Florida. Betty thought of that place too. She says, so you grew up near the ocean in Florida?
Yes, Miami is a big city in Florida, right on the ocean. The ocean is, of course, those biggest pieces of water on Earth. There is a beach next to the ocean.
Yes, you can swim in the ocean. You can get on a boat and go out into the ocean. But Milo was not talking about this Miami, Garrett.
No, there are a few different cities called Miami in the United States. He's from Miami, Arizona. It's a small town in the desert.
Ooh, so this Miami is very different from the ocean one we just talked about. Desert is a place with a lot of sand. If you are in the middle of the desert, everywhere you look, it is all sand. It's usually very dry and hot.
Yes, this is usually true. Now, Maria, actually, a desert is a place that almost never rains. Actually, the biggest desert on Earth is Antarctica. There's no sand there. Well, that is where Milo grew up.
Yes, he grew up in the desert in Miami, Arizona. Well, Betty asks, what did you do for fun growing up?
Now, Milo says he played outdoors a lot. His hometown was a nice place to grow up.
It was a nice place to grow up. And friends, that is today's calendar phrase.
It was a nice place to grow up.
It was a nice place to grow up.
那是个很适合成长的地方。
Where are you from?
Parkville. It was a nice place to grow up.
Oh, were there places to play?
Yes, it was a nice place to grow up.
Were the neighbors friendly?
Yes, it was a nice place to grow up. Where are you from?
Smallville.
Is that a nice place to grow up?
I don't know. I stayed small.
It was a nice place to grow up.
It was a nice place to grow up.
那是个很适合成长的地方。
All right, friends, we talked about desert just a moment ago, but be careful with that word. It only has one S in it. There's another word spelled almost the same way with two S's.
Yes, you are talking about the word dessert. Actually, Betty did bring a dessert to Milo, and then he told her about a desert.
Exactly. A dessert is great. We want more. It has two S's. We don't want to go to the desert. It has just one S. Well, friends, that is all for the moment. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back just after this.
Let's talk in English. 10 minutes every day. That's the way.
Well, welcome back to the show, everyone. Today, we learned all about Miami, but not the Miami most people think of. It is important when you're saying what your hometown is that you say where exactly it is.
That's right. So we learned about Milo's hometown. It was in a desert, so it was hot and more dry, but he had a good time there.
What about Betty, though? Let's go learn more.
My hometown was a good place to grow up too.
Where are you from?
I grew up just outside of Baltimore, Maryland.
In a suburb?
That's right.
Did you like living in a suburb?
I did. I could go into the city for special events, but I could leave the crowded city behind and go home.
But it is so convenient to live in a city.
That is true. I enjoy city living now.
Well, let's learn a little bit more about Betty's hometown now. Betty, she says that her hometown was a good place to grow up too.
Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, I would say it's a good place where people are friendly to kids, there's fun things to do, and it's pretty safe.
Yes, that's right. And maybe also the weather was nice, and maybe it was a place where she had many friends.
Yes. Well, where is Betty from? That's what Milo wants to know, and it's what we want to know with our Find It question. Where did Betty grow up?
She grew up just outside of Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, Maryland. That is another big city. A lot of people live in Baltimore, Maryland, but Betty says she grew up just outside of the city.
That's right. So not in the city with all the big buildings and the busy roads. Where did she grow up?
Well, Milo wants to know if she was in a suburb. Now, a suburb is like a community or a town that's close to a city, but not in it. Some people will live in a suburb, but work in the city. They often spend a lot of time driving.
Yes, it's not too far away from the city. Sometimes it can be a little far. Well, Milo asks, did you like living in a suburb?
Because Betty did live in one, and she liked it. She could go into the city for special events, because those are often only in bigger cities.
Yes, so it doesn't sound like she worked in the city because she only went for special events. She worked somewhere else, but also she could leave the crowded city behind and go home. She liked that.
Now let's talk about one of those words. It's that word crowded. It sounds a lot like the word crowd. A crowd is a big group of people gathered together. But if we say a place is crowded, we're saying there are a lot of people there. It's often not a good word.
Yes, crowded. If it's very crowded, then you feel like you can't move. There's so many people around you. Betty didn't like that too much about the city, but there are different good things about living in a city.
It can be convenient. Here, when we say convenient, it means we can easily get to many different places or buy a lot of things we want or need.
That's true. Convenient. Cities are convenient. Well, Betty says, I enjoy city living now.
She enjoys city living now. Let's go to Jack now to learn more about living.
Milo 觉得住在城市里很方便。Betty 说：“哎，那倒是真的。我现在就很喜欢住在城市里。I enjoy city living now。”动词 live 是居住，而这里的 living 是名词，指的是生活或生活方式。比如 Country living is quiet and peaceful。乡村生活很安静，也很平和。或是 The cost of living is high in that city. 那个城市的生活成本很高。它也可以是形容词，指生活的。比如 We need more living space. 我们需要更多的生活空间。或者是 The living conditions are better now. 现在的生活条件比较好了。
Thank you so much, Jack. That is helpful. Yes, sometimes as you get older, the kinds of places you like to live change. As you get older and want to do more things, cities can be great because they are convenient.
That's right. You might enjoy living in the city and then enjoy living in a suburb.
Right. I grew up in a suburb. That's where my hometown was, and I live in a bigger city now. I think there's good things about both.
Yes, there is. Well, Garrett, you just said the word grow up, and that is one of our key words. So let's review our keywords now.
Here's your first keyword for today. Grow up. Grow up. He grew up on a farm.
Ocean. Ocean. Can we swim in the ocean?
Desert. Desert. It can be very hot in the desert.
Crowded. Crowded. This restaurant is very crowded.
Convenient. Convenient. It's convenient to live near the park. Well, friends, those are your key words. It's convenient to practice them wherever you are, so keep on doing that.
And now let's watch our lesson again.
Thanks for bringing over these cookies, Betty.
You're welcome. Save some for Ken.
Sure. I'll save some. Well, maybe just one.
So, Milo, tell me more about yourself. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Miami.
So, you grew up near the ocean in Florida.
No, Miami, Arizona. It's a small town in the desert.
Oh, what did you do for fun growing up?
I played outdoors a lot. Miami was a nice place to grow up.
My hometown was a good place to grow up too.
Where are you from?
I grew up just outside of Baltimore, Maryland.
In a suburb?
That's right.
Did you like living in a suburb?
I did. I could go into the city for special events, but I could leave the crowded city behind and go home.
But it is so convenient to live in a city.
That is true. I enjoy city living now.
Hi guys, time to chit chat.
We're talking about hometowns today.
Yes, we are.
And we have a really helpful question in English.
Where did you grow up?
Where did you grow up? It's a great question to get people talking.
Some people love to talk about where they grew up.
Some people grew up near the ocean.
Or in the desert, like Milo. He grew up in Arizona.
Some people grew up in the city.
And some people grew up in the suburbs. A suburb is a place on the outside of a big city.
Cities can be crowded. Suburbs are quieter.
But cities are convenient.
True, I grew up in a city. I could always see a 7-Eleven.
Friends, where did you grow up?
Practice saying it in English.
See you next time.
I Hi there, I'm Gabe. Welcome to Gabe's Game. Were you listening carefully to today's conversation? I know you were. You always are. Let's see what you remember. Here's question number 1. What did Milo do for fun? Did he A, play outside, B, watch TV, C, go swimming, or D, ride horses? That sounds pretty fun. Well, if you said A, play outside, good job. He said he played outdoors a lot when he was growing up. This sounds fun. All right, so let's go outside. Just kidding. Let's go to question number 2. Why did Betty like the suburbs? Was it because of A, the big backyards, B, the quiet streets, C, the nearby city, or D, no traffic? What do you think? If you picked C, the nearby city, you got it. She liked visiting the city, but she also liked leaving the crowds behind to go home. So, let's go home. Just kidding. Let's go to question number 3. True or false? Milo grew up in a small town in the desert. Think carefully. If you said true, you're right again. But it wasn't Miami, Florida. That's very famous. It was Miami, Arizona. That's not famous at all, but it is very hot. Well, that's it for today. Come back next time for more fun here at Gabe's Game. See you soon.
Today we talked about some different kinds of places you could live in, like a big city, suburbs outside of a city, and if you're further away than that, we might call it the country or countryside. Maria, where would you like to live?
I would like to live in the suburb again. I used to live there. Now I live in the city.
I would agree with you. Although where I live now sometimes feels a bit like the suburbs. Friends, try to answer this question yourself and keep practicing your English. We'll see you again tomorrow. That's right here on
Let's Talk in English. Goodbye.